Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Victory Monday. Welcome to the morning hookup. Now let's slide Myrtle. Dr. Dave Todd in the house. Your money's off to a great start. Had a great weekend as well. Jump into a lot of victory talk over the weekend for Nebraska Athletics. We'll jump into NBA playoffs. Actually got rolling. It was a stunner last night. Look at a little baseball. Evan Blam, go my world herald coming up. And more chances for keywords. $1,000. Right now, that word is hand, H-A-N-D, 402-258-2800. Text that keyword in to get a chance to win $1,000. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. How you been, buddy?
I'm good, man. What a good weekend.
It was a nice weekend. A little chilly.
It was for a few days. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it was great yesterday. Did you guys have baseball on Saturday?
We did down in Beatrice. It was a little chilly, 12-2, a little windy.
Did they win?
Nope. Made it worse.
Did they effort?
Nope. That was the key.
That's the hard part.
Did they have fun?
I don't really care.
Yeah, no, it's hard to have fun when you don't effort. It's a weird thing, right? It's hard to have fun.
Effort and just doing the little things, playing catch.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate.
Makes it up, and again.
But did they live?
They did.
They lived.
They did.
There we go. Live to fight another day.
I actually tossed a baseball around in my front yard Saturday afternoon.
Wow.
After the Husker baseball team won, I'm feeling festive. My shoulder is so sore. Maybe 30, 45 minutes tossing a baseball around. It's been killing me. I iced it up afterwards. I got inside and I went, this is already feeling like it's tightening up a little bit. So I got some ice on there and that helped for a little bit. But now it's tonight or last night rolled around.
Yeah. Like, what were you trying to throw, heat or something?
I tried to throw a couple sliders.
Oh my god!
You didn't warm up properly. I assume.
That's really dumb.
Of course, I didn't warm up properly.
That's right up there with all the guys who play one game of backyard football on Thanksgiving every single year. That's good for at least 3 surgeries a year for us. At least 3.
That's good for at least.
I don't think I have a surgery coming. I think it's just soreness.
I'm sure it's just soreness. Why don't you put some Triactin on it and you'll be all right. Triactin a little tougher there, buddy. Yeah, gotcha. Smoked him.
I was actually wondering. I was like, never heard of that before.
Is that an over-the-counter medication?
Can I get this at Walmart?
I love that there's stats or unofficial stats that the doctor said that's good for at least 3.
Yeah, that's a made-up statistic. I'm probably underselling it, honestly.
It's probably more.
Properly
warm. Did you go 60 feet 6 inches as well? Were you going long?
We were guesstimating.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Of course you paced it off.
There wasn't like a full pace off, but I umpire enough that I kind of have the feel for the distance. And I was like, all right, now we have a tree stump in my front yard. I'm like, that's almost like a mound.
I love that. There you go. All right.
Get up on there.
Let's just jump into a lot. Again, we're going to talk a lot of Huskers today. We're going to also get into basketball portal as there was a lot of worry as time went along, but no fear. Fred is here. They got it done with some big additions. We'll talk about that later on, but what a weekend it was for baseball and softball. Both go out, get a couple of run roll sweeps in their day. Baseball, big one. Big weekend. As also you see, they set a Big Ten attendance record for most in a series at a home game. I think there were 7,000 yesterday at the ballpark. I had a chance to go Friday. Friday was a game of resiliency and execution to get that done, as they were facing the best pitcher in the Big Ten, who showed his why he is number one, in that he is really stinking good on the bump. He was so effective with I'd call it a B+ fastball, B, but an A+ breaking ball.
Yeah, and an A+ breaking ball makes a B to B+ fastball look like an A fastball.
Yes, and then when he did get in any kind of trouble, he had every pitch in the book to make it happen.
Was it 12 strikeouts through 7 innings? Yep. Unreal.
And again, that was the game. We talked about how it would be on Nebraska's side to get him to a high pitch count early. And if he got past the 6th, we would be in trouble. He got to the 7th. Then the bats came alive. Overbeat gets you one. Moyer gets the bunt down, and boom, there you go. They win the baseball game late in that game.
And I mentioned this on Twitter. I'll make a quick note of it because people don't like to hear it. I think the Huskers caught a break Friday night with that Mac Moyer bunt. runners lane interference.
Yeah,
it could have
any
been called.
chance on that one. The throw caused the call not to be made.
I think the throw was so errant that they decided there was no play to be made by the first baseman.
That's
one of the differences between high school ball and college ball is the quality of the throw does matter in college ball. In high school ball, I think in U-Trip as well, the throw quality does not matter, because you could make an argument that if you're outside the runner's lane, you affected the throw and caused it to be off. So, but in college it does. So you may have caught a break. I'm not sure. You didn't get a good angle to throw. Regardless, Huskers win it. And then Saturday and Sunday was just
wow.
I mean, just domination.
Well, domination again. I wrote down the 3 words, and I put one was two for the first game was resiliency and execution. Game 1, game 2, pitching. Yeah, bats too, but Yasa was so dominant in that game. And then and game in the last game, you got decent pitching, but the bats. You end up scoring what, like 28, like 30 plus runs in the series of that game. Dominant pitching at times, execution, and now here you are. You beat the number 12 team in the country. You jump into number 20 in the nation now, as well as the new polls came out.
I believe I heard yesterday this is the first time Husker baseball has swept a top 25 opponent in 11 years.
Wow.
I believe. I think it was since 2015, I believe, is what I heard yesterday. Don't quote me on that statistic, but I think that's what I heard yesterday. I believe that was on the radio broadcast.
I'll take it.
Yeah, big weekend down there. I would say game 2 with Yasa going all 7. Boy, what an opportunity that you were able to save some arms on a bullpen to let them get going. Also seeing Ty Horn coming out of there. Bold move, right move that you're showing right now.
It's paying off.
I
mean, he even gave up a couple of runs yesterday, but it was a steadying force on that mound. Blackowitz didn't quite have it, and that's going to happen for pitchers. USC was kind of keyed in on him, but as soon as Ty Horn came into that game, it felt like everything just settled down, and it gave the Husker bats a chance to go and get going. And that they did. Holy cow. Was that team seeing the ball well yesterday? And it should also be noted here, USC came into this series as a good defensive team. They fell apart in the field.
Oh, wow.
With throwing errors, with fielding errors. It was the Huskers team mentality was essentially just put it in play and dare them to go make a play. And USC time and time again, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, failed to make plays out in the field. That's a credit to the Husker baseball team having the right scouting report for a team that came in. They were fielding like, I think 960 something. Like they were a good fielding team this year. Don't quote me on that statistic either. Something around there. And then they came in, the wheels just fell off their defense all weekend long. I mean, how many runs scored on passed balls and errors yesterday? Was it 3 or 4 runs?
I think it was 4.
Scored on passed balls and errors?
Get the big Dane, going back to your days playing at Nebraska when you were playing, because this is the biggest baseball series that has been at Haymarket Park since we joined the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's real easy as an athlete to get amped up, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when you get too amped up, you don't play well. You felt like that a little bit in game 1. Crowd was there, amped up. But how do you, because it's hard to minimize or level off those levels, because you see all these stats now where they see the heart rates of people that whoop stuff, right? That's real.
Oh yeah, that's real. I think though, regardless of how amped up you are for it, after the first, for us, it was always for me, it was always the first series. Once the first series was in the bag, like everybody kind of calms back down and goes back to baseline. I don't know how because I never played much baseball growing up, right? So I don't know how it is for baseball players, right? Do you have to get that first at bat? Do you have to get that, the first fielding series? Do you have to just get through an inning? Does it take 2 or 3 to kind of calm back down? Especially with a sport that's more individually based, right? Okay, especially when you're obviously if you're the pitcher, right? But when you're at bat, there's nobody else there, right? It's just you and him. Yeah, so I don't know. What did you experience when you were playing, right? Like, what did it take you to get back down to kind of that calm level? And you were pitching, so it's not
was
like
just trying to get that. Like, mine was, you felt like in each inning, trying to get the lead off. when you got the leadoff out, you're like, all right, we'll settle into this thing. And I think that's where Kotzke, he struggled in game 1, was doing that. Looked a little bit of amped up, wasn't it? Because I think in times, if you can't get it leveled off, you don't have your best stuff at times.
Trying too hard.
Well,
Because I thought he wasn't, he's missing spots. Fastball wasn't as live as it usually is in those things. And it's probably more like a quarterback being more amped up, like a pitcher is. Well, I would imagine Zach would probably say, hey, go on, I completed that first throw.
I do also feel like there's pitchers, though, that need to have that little bit of psycho. They need that juice to them. Like
Yasa.
Yeah. Horn's another guy that I feel like whenever the crowd is lively and his heart rate gets up, he turns into a better pitcher. Like it's almost like he sees red and then he's just firing fastballs right on the corners. And other pitchers, they need to be completely calm on that mound. They need to be settled down, but it's kind of different strokes for different folks, or there is just that, like, you see it a lot in like you get into postseason ball and you have those guys that rise to the moment because the fans are there, they're lively, they kind of turn into a bit of a psycho. They probably like 600 milligrams of caffeine in the bloodstream and they're pitching at their best, where other guys need to have that steady heart rate.
I think you're actually seeing guys who are better prepared at that point, right? For it, because I mean, every single statistic and study will tell you that in pressure situations, people don't get better. Nobody elevates to this new level. I've mentioned this before, but it's the concept. We all grew up with somebody who claimed they were a gamer, right?
I love that.
And that's not real. That's statistically not real. Look at Michael Jordan's statistics when he had game on the line situations. His shooting percentage went down. It doesn't go up. It goes down, right? And he's one of the all-time clutch performers, right? And so I think what you actually end up seeing in those situations is people who are just really well prepared for it, and they're probably just very well mentally prepared for it as well. But I think what we do is we try to ascribe it to something, right? Like, oh, he was able to do this because of X, Y, or Z.
And you're like,
yeah, it's interesting. Like the best football I ever played were games when I was sick, right? And part of the reason why for me, right, was I had no idea why, right? Let's be honest. Okay. But Dave Kennedy, our old strength coach, I was like, oh man, I'm sick. I don't feel well. He said, oh, you're going to play your best football today though, because your body's just going to take over. Right. And one, he was kind of right, but two, he said the right thing to me at the right time to get me out of my head about this other thing causing problems for me. Right. And I think a lot of that is the situation where it's like they're mentally prepared, they're physically prepared, and then they just kind of got out of their own way.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's fascinating.
But it was a great series for Nebraska.
Oh, great series for Nebraska. Baseball and softball.
Morning, Jeff. He chimed said since 2015 Texas. He would throw that out there. But going back also, and we're going to ask Evan a lot of questions about the games and things like that, because I think the move with Horn, and now you got a couple of guys that you're talking about, Horn and Unger. When they come in the game, they're just that guy. They're like a Yasa on the mound there. But now you're in that mix because here you are, you're number 20 in the country. The door is open to hosting regionals, right? You got a big one now. If you're looking at regional hosts, you have a big one coming up now. As I believe Kansas now goes to number 16, you're number 20. We talked about what did we need to do in those 9-game stretch? At least 6-3. If you can go get Kansas at Kansas, guess what you are?
6-3.
6-3. You've gone 5-3 in the last 8. Get one there, and your schedule is so plus Nebraska on the rest of the way out. You're staring that regional bid and knocking on the door of some Big Ten stuff.
When you're at 30 wins, I think you have 10 quad one victories under your belt. And I mean, the door is wide open to go get yourself 40 plus wins in the regular season. And I mean, if you're a 40 plus win team that finishes number 2 in the Big Ten in likely a 4-bid season for the Big Ten, that's regional host.
It's right there. It's out in front of you now. So, all right, let's take our first break. When we come back, let's jump in a little Nebraska basketball. It wasn't a quiet weekend. It was really quiet beginning of the week. And then I got a text and it said, hey, watch out. It's about to drop, and it did. Let's talk about Nebraska basketball when we return.
It's also a new #1 softball team in the land, according to Softball America.
I wrote it down. Come back. I meant to mention that. That's uncharted territory.
Let's also not forget that the NHL playoffs started this weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A little bit dicey for my Avs yesterday, but they got it done.
I love the battle of Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, right?
Yep.
Philly and Pittsburgh going at it. Or Brady Tkachuk dropping the gloves 3 seconds in, just like Four Nations.
Hockey fans are different.
Oh, they're dumb. We're idiots.
They're like watching, like, there's these videos. Is it like, I don't know. So like I don't know. Is it Buffalo? Who's Buffalo playing?
Buffalo is who is
the Sabres it was a big comeback yesterday, wasn't it?
But they were like wherever they're playing at. Like I saw these videos.
The Bruins.
Bruins.
Of like Buffalo. It's Buffalo fans. The Buffalo fans are out. They got like a Bruins hockey dummy, and they're like skating around pregame, checking it.
I love it.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Well, Buffalo hasn't been in the playoffs in like 15 years. It was the longest streak in the NHL for a while.
I think the most intriguing series to me is the Stars and the Wild.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, that should be like a 7-game series.
I mean, incredible.
How about Burke going to Vandy?
With Bangot Dak. When the portal window opened, you would have told me the front court of Berkay Buchtengel and Bangot Dak. I'd have been like, wow, Nebraska had a good portal window. But nope, that's the front court at Vandy now.
That's the front court at Vandy.
How the portal turns.
That's exactly. There was a game within the game called the Lone Ranger, where each group, there's 5 groups, collectively it's a red ball. It's a different color ball. Everybody's got yesterday was a gold ball. The goal is to not lose the gold ball, and it rotates through the fivesome. Now, this is a thing where it's like you keep the Lone Ranger ball and the score of that particular ball as it rotates, and it's a winner. And it's also like if you hit it out of bounds, you just have to find it. Keep it throughout the 18. I got a video of my buddy. We got to 18. He hit it in the water.
Oh no!
Shoes and socks off, baby.
Oh,
did he get it?
Got it.
Oh, I love that.
We ended up winning the Lone Ranger. It's awesome.
That's
what an awesome
fantastic
game. Come on back here.
Welcome back to the morning hookup. Happy Victory Monday. We were talking in the stream about NHL playoffs. What makes hockey fans so good? I don't even know. I'm seeing these videos of like they go in like full gear.
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
Like at some point there won't be enough players, and they'll be like, Section 117, row 4, seat 8, please come down. We see you're fully dressed.
Well, have you ever heard of the e-bug? Oh my goodness! Of course you wouldn't know this. So it's the emergency backup goalie. Okay. So each team dresses 2 goalies. Okay.
Yeah.
But then there is a person in the stands for each game who is referred to as the e-bug.
Where do they sit? Do they sit up in like the box? Just
yeah.
or are they like right behind the? Like...
No. They're just in the stands. But it may be some guy who is a 40-year-old like electrician. Yeah, well, yeah, they pick them out. It's somebody who knows how to play goalie and probably played goalie at a relatively high level, but not like NHL level ever.
And what's interesting is it's not like each team brings one. The home team has the emergency backup goalie. So if the visitors are out of goalies, this guy that's a fan of the home team now dresses up for the visiting team and goes and sits in goal.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And so they go.
It just goes like this.
Oh, and it's the greatest thing ever when they come
some
out.
Incredible performances. Sometimes.
Incredible! Like e-bugs winning games for folks. It's awesome.
Like
I've never heard.
There was one a couple years ago. I can't remember. I think the visitors lost their backup their backup goalie. Their starter couldn't go after warm up, so they went to their backup. Their backup gets injured, And here comes, like, at the start of the third period, the emergency backup goalie for the home team. And he comes in and wins the game for the visitors and gets a standing ovation from the home crowd on his way off because they all know him. They know he's the emergency backup goalie for the home team. But
it's the most amazing thing I've heard all day.
I think he made like 13 saves or something like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's incredible, right? I mean, what other sport are you just pulling rando out the stands and playing?
Yeah, the
right?
guy, I think the guy played like D2 hockey and then was a beer league.
I'm pretty sure they don't get paid even.
No, they don't. But they get free tickets.
Yeah, they get free. They get to go to the game.
They get to go to the game.
Hopefully, they didn't throw too many back before they got called in, right?
My goodness, I just wrote that down because I need to talk to my kids about this.
Yeah, about being the e-bug, figuring it out. Yeah,
who knows?
Need that in baseball, dude. Imagine pulling me out the stands to swing. Right, one, I would never hit the ball in a million years. Right, I would just pray that. Well, one, I didn't get smoked by a baseball, but that I'd get walked. I'd go Barry Bonds style.
They would just throw you fastballs.
Yeah, and they'd be fine because I would miss 3 in a row.
My good buddy Francis played high school hockey, was a goalie, and he was the SID for the Dartmouth women's hockey team for a little bit. And they had 3 goalies on roster. 2 of them ended up getting hurt to season-ending injuries. So for the back half of the season, he couldn't go into any games, obviously, because he's a male and he doesn't have college eligibility. But he, for the rest of the season, was their practice goalie. So he was their SID, and he got to practice all year long as the backup goalie. So we got highlight videos sent through us throughout the year, all these saves he's making in practice.
I love that. That's awesome.
Oh, boy. That's good stuff. Man, thanks for entertaining that with me today. Nebraska basketball portal really got off to a quick start. You got Orm on the books, and then it went a little quiet. I think Husker fans, including a lot of us, were like, man, it's no news. Kids coming to visit, leaving, coming back. And then a barrage of players announced on Friday. Still not done. I believe one on Saturday morning as well. When you look at it, Caden Betts, we got he is in, as we were also in on him early, but now Caden Betts will join. Bowden Kapke, that we say his name, is that right? Bowden Kapke, Boston College, in. And I think the big one we're going to say is Linhart. Getting your point guard out of Utah Valley.
Yeah. And Trevin Linhart has been the 2 plan A guys that you had coming into this portal window were Sam Orm and Trevin Linhart. Mm-hmm. You got your 2 plan A's, your 2 starters. I think
still waiting. Wait, another guard?
There's probably one more space available.
There's one available. I don't think they're done yet. There's at least one more.
I look at Kapke and I think probably a depth piece. Mm-hmm. And I see Kapke kind of a Josiah Alec come off the bench kind of role, energy guy, plays some good defense. He's got good length. But whenever I look at what Nebraska's done in the front court, to read the tea leaves, does it not feel like Nebraska's kind of putting their eggs in the Ugnis Yarosevicius basket?
Yep.
The fact that they haven't really been targeting a true center, especially because Fred loves centers and forwards that can handle the ball, that can run some inverse pick and rolls. Like, you think of his teams that have been best, they've had a Rink Mast, a Niang at Iowa State. You look at Derek Walker with Nebraska. Like, Nebraska wants a ball handling guy in the front court, or 2 of them. And I don't necessarily see that with Kapke, but you see it with Oogie, and you see it with Sam Orm, which makes me think that probably a depth piece there. But
I really like what I'm seeing right now. And again, this is the, obviously you could talk money with centers, you could talk money with guards, but what I'm really enjoying is the way that it seems like the pieces they've landed fit what you have returning. And I think that's a key to watch within this with Price, Frager, all the guys that have said, I'm back. These pieces look to be the fit. And you hear a lot of commentary, especially about Kapke, Boston College guys have said, hey, that looks like a natural fit for him as well. And again, I know you guys didn't deal with transfers a lot at football, but was there one that, like, when they brought him in, like, all right, he fits?
Zach. Yeah, Zach, of course, fit really nicely. And
I think that's a huge piece of it. Because there's probably ones you could say that didn't fit when they came.
Oh, there were definitely guys who didn't fit. And think of Nebraska basketball this year. It's all team-based concept, right? Like, it's finding the right players to put into those situations and positions. You don't just go find some It's not the John Calipari, right? That's the right person I'm thinking of, right? With the just go get the absolute most talented player you can possibly get your hands on. You got to find somebody who fits into the room really well as that team played together this year. And so finding the right fit is really important. There's another thing I wanted to ask you guys about. Would you ever label somebody who's 6'8" small?
Nowadays,
like that's the funniest thing to me about basketball position stuff is they still call it a small forward. Like
6'8", those are large human beings.
8. There's nothing small about that human being.
He's 6 undersized.
Yeah, undersized. Yeah. You tell him I'm not gonna. He can reach me from across the room, right? Like,
well, all those numbers you're talking about right there, it really goes into what Fred's trying to get to, right? We mentioned point guards in the show quite a bit, where he likes that 6'5" bigger point guard handling the ball. He wants all 5 guys on the floor to handle the basketball if they have to, right? If they're getting pressed. Got to be in the back, got to get the ball up. All 5 guys can shoot it at least a 35% clip from 3 or better.
Well, I think if you preview the starting lineup right now, the smallest man on the floor is 6'4", and the worst 3-point shooters 34% based on their numbers from last year. Like tall and deadly 3-point shooting, that'll play in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have that true 7'4" monster like Michigan and Purdue and some of those teams have. But the size that you have 1 through 5, I think will allow you to go compete with those teams.
As long as they're physical at that size, right? Like, because that's part of the thing about the Big Ten is it's not soft basketball, right? So it'd be interesting. It's good. Nice pickups.
Yeah, really nice pickups. When you look at them, obviously it just goes back to fit, style of play, and fit. And it seems you feel like this staff is doing it again. Right. I think there'll still be again. I think there's one spot still left. Probably looking for that guard. Probably another combo guard type. I know. Is it Tyreek Coleman? His name.
I think he committed to Iowa.
Did he commit? I can't remember. Right. I know.
I know they were going after him, but as soon as Linhart was in the boat,
they went there.
Yeah, he went to, from what I understand, plan B for him, which is Iowa.
Good.
Feels good to say.
Good. Plan B.
In Iowa, you look at their portal window. I know as the portal window turns, like things can change, but it feels like they had a high swing and a miss rate out of the portal. Iowa did thus far this year. And financially, it doesn't sound like they were able to compete as well as they thought going in. I mean, they lose a guy in Fulgaris that they were fully planning on building around next year, and Iowa sounds like they didn't even come close to the NIL offers he was getting, so he's elsewhere.
You wonder in a situation like that, one, you got to say it's probably some cash flow there, but also how much a style of play for the types of players they're looking for in that mode. A kid like what's his name that left?
Fulgaris?
Yeah. Probably not the style of play that he's looking to be as a shooter, because they
really slow it down.
They really slow it down. Opportunities are limited in that. I just saw something come across, speaking of portal news, as Jeff Goodman just put it out there. It's just somebody it's interesting. Owen Freeman out of Creighton just landed at Auburn.
Oh. Huh.
I was as shocked as you were when I saw that.
Huh. That's a team that had a really down year this year.
Yeah, they were missing Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, sometimes the son is not the same as the dad.
Maybe the most interesting development for Husker fans over the weekend is the Berkay news.
Yeah, I think did that shock everybody? I wish the kid well, right? Seriously. But again,
shock is not the word I'd use, but it was an eyebrow raiser of that feels like a team that just came out of the blue to land
maybe
Berkay.
Perplexed, because you're thinking, but you're thinking, man, you were just in a game standing over top of dudes, and we're just beating them, and now you're like, oh.
Well, and then they're going to pair Berkay in the front court. Bang got Dak also yesterday morning, announcing former Lincoln Southeast product, was off at Colorado. He kind of hit his secondary growth spurt right after high school and shot up from he was like 6'8", 6'9" at Southeast, and then You're seeing him his freshman year at Colorado, and you're like, oh, you hit 7 feet tall. Oh, interesting. So he stands about 7'1", really good athlete, stand out as a defender. That's going to be defensively a very, very, very tough to handle front court for Vandy. It's a different team style-wise for Vandy this year with the defense they're going to have, but a Berke next to Bengot-Dak, which we talked about this during the break, and I'll mention it again. If you took it back to 2 weeks ago when the portal window was opening and you said, man, by the end of this portal window, you're going to have a front court of Berke and Bengot-Dak in college basketball. Like, wow, Nebraska finally did what the fans have been calling for. They're going to pair those two up. Wow. But 2 weeks later, they're not at Nebraska. They're at Vandy. Who could have called that? But we
good moves for Vandy based on their SEC and what they're up against.
And we've seen the defensive effort and what Berke brings defensively. He embraced that role fully this year, and he was, high energy as a defender. And you have a guy in Bengot-Dak who's 7'1" and can jump out of the gym and is a great rim protector. I kind of like the moves for Vandy.
Vandy did a nice job, and
they've changed.
Give those guys credit.
They're going to change how they play a little bit.
Yeah, he can coach on there to be a very defensive unit, and you wish Berke well, and you hope he does well, and he stays in that nice role because he has the ability to be a very large part, especially on the defensive end of basketball games, and change. He's long and athletic on the defensive end. He's also a mismatch problem on the offensive end at times for teams that can't, have that size.
Right.
Wish him well.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck at Vandy.
Nashville's pretty cool city to live in. Be a good time.
I wonder if he'll show him that tattoo.
The record. Well, he seemed to have got a good collection of cowboy hats when he was in Nebraska.
Yeah,
so that should fit in well in Nashville.
The tattoo with the record is, I'm not gonna lie, that's
go ahead.
I'm gonna call it a decision that was made. I'm just gonna say it was decision.
I wonder if it was to me. Again, probably made it already, but you wonder if that was like a decision made thinking he was returning.
I wonder if it was the other way around. I wonder if it was a decision that was made of like, I loved my time at Nebraska. We had a really, really special season, and I want to commemorate this before I go somewhere else.
Maybe he's going to do one for every year.
It's possible.
Maybe that's the decition.
Well, every good season.
Yeah, just yeah.
He didn't get one for last year, but this
for every good season that we're a part of.
But I don't know. Whenever you first announced into the portal, I went, wow, he just got the tattoo. Now as I think back, I don't know. It's a different era of college sports. Every season is its own season. It's not like a 5-year journey for guys really anymore. It's across one school. You had a good season. You enjoyed it. You built some special relationships with some teammates. Commemorate that on the arm before you go hit the road, I guess.
Today's the day. What days are we? Portal closes.
Officially slam shut. So the thing is, you can still get additions, but I think you can't go. You can't midnight tonight to go into the portal.
Yeah, you just have to enter, and then you can do whatever you're gonna do forever, right? If you enter the portal though, you're no longer on a team, correct? Right? How does that work? Are you on a team and just looking? Or are you
can come, you can withdraw your name from the portal.
Yeah, you can withdraw and come back, right? But I can't imagine that you're in the portal but then working out with
your
team,
I feel
right?
like no. I don't. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what your status is.
It would.
I feel like you lost a lot of leverage.
It would make sense to me that you're like, okay, I'm entering the portal, therefore I can't practice or play with anybody until I have a new team.
Yep.
Right. I did. Never thought about it.
It's a mystery.
There's a lot of things I have never thought about though.
Yeah, it's like, where are you in there? Where are you?
Never thought about entering the transfer portal.
No,
back when I played.
I'm no offense. I'm not sure there's a huge market for fullbacks even 20 years ago.
I don't know, man.
Wow.
I don't know, dude. There was more of a a market back then than there is now.
I don't know. You're seeing the slight return of fullbacks to football.
Yeah.
They're kind of, it's a different style of fullback.
Yeah. An athletic one. Yeah. There you go.
That's not what I meant.
I know, but I said it. Just because you didn't mean it doesn't mean I didn't say it.
You keep digging.
You're getting fullbacks like catching passes now and running full route trees. It's fun. It's interesting.
He's digging deeper now.
Well, no, I'm not saying you couldn't. I'm just like, you weren't asked to do that. Like,
By Bill Callahan?
You just never got the
I just wasn't good enough at it.
I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, no.
I would have loved to see it.
I just wasn't good enough at it. That was the
We
problem.
got Dayton Todd in the slot running a go route.
Oh, goodness. Oh, that would have been awesome.
No.
I tell you, there was one play against Iowa State when we were out there where I was a complete distraction on the play, motion out of the backfield all the way out wide to wide receiver, all the way out. Like, as they basically wanted me on the bench that far out. And then the play, of course, goes the other way, right? But they brought a corner out, and I ran out there and I cut blocked that corner 80 yards away from the play on the backside and put him down.
Well, if you're going to be there, you're going to get a job done.
Best part is the receivers were all pissed off at me on Monday because they got torched by their coach because a fullback went out there and managed to put down a corner on the backside, and they hadn't done it all year.
How uncomfortable did it feel being the guy who's usually like in the muck in the line of scrimmage to now be lined up out wide where it's like 20 yards between you and the next closest offensive player?
I had no idea what I was doing out there. I was just gonna try to do something.
I find you, I hit you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I was like, this is all I'm capable of. Let's be real. Nobody was covering me. Right. Like,
man, good stuff. All right, let's take another break. As we go to break, still have that keyword HAND, HAND. You can text that word into 402-258-2800 for a chance to win $1,000. All sponsored by Liberty First Credit Union out there. So let's take another break. Come back with more with Dr. Dayton Todd. So it's like, I'll show you this, and I'll show you in a little bit. We're going in. See him throw like a couple golf balls out.
That's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, no, he's going to get it right here. So you can see him. He's going to grab it. And like,
there's a gold ball. Let's
see it, Dave. we all celebrate the gold ball.
That's awesome.
We got to just celebrate. It's incredible. Yeah, buddy. Oh my. A nice couple of days coming up, then we're going to get cold again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 60s. We're not.
Oh, cold and rainy.
We're not stable yet. We're not there.
No. Yeah. Yuck.
We're not there. But like today, it's like almost 90. 90 for like mid 80s and 90s the next 3 days. Then a front maybe pushing through on Thursday.
High 60s to low 70s is the sweet spot.
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed. Well, I'm not bummed. My kids are bummed. Big outdoor concert on Saturday night at the stadium. Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
High on Saturday is only 64.
Yeah, it's well for those that are over 21. There are some good warming techniques that could be used at a concert.
I know, but
that $20 a pop.
Yeah, pre-game.
I'm not.
Get pre-gamed.
We're running like crazy that day. We're running through like we got the doubleheader tournament doubleheader 8 and 2:30.
Oh, that's gross. That is gross.
It's a good couple hours in between that you just get to figure out what to do with life. Where's it at? Here?
Waverly.
Oh, well, at least it's close
like,
enough that you could go somewhere.
I just found it
I feel like you'll find a restaurant in North Lincoln and then go back to Waverly.
Well, Waverly's got a nice trackside.
I've heard that's good.
It's a cool place. Yeah. I mean, but then again, what do you do? It's like I get there. They're not open when we're doing our first game.
That's going to be a nightmare on Saturday because there's Stars are in the playoffs. I'm going to head down and help cover that. That's going to be tough on Saturday.
Well, especially from
the
Memorial
university parking police are going to be
everywhere,
all
full
over
force.
Maybe I should go. I was thinking about going. Eagle Raceway's got their season opener this next weekend.
Oh, do they really? There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. It's a crummy weekend for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Maybe it'd be better to be sitting inside watching Stars hockey.
Is it going to be rainy? Maybe.
Sunday. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if you at this time of year in Nebraska, you can't trust the forecast until 24 hours out.
Yeah, I know.
Especially when Moats is putting it out.
That was said by Dr. Dane Todd.
Dr. Dane Todd.
Got him. Poor Moats can't.
402.
Not here to defend himself.
I haven't even seen. Is he gone?
I heard his voice on the radio this morning.
Chance he's off covering some. Oh, he's Monday. It's he's downtown.
No, yeah,
station. Coming back here, by the way.
60 for a high on Saturday. Welcome back in the morning hookup. 2 moments left. Hanging out with Dr. Dane Todd. Doc just said if you're out and about this weekend, he's going to be covering the Lincoln Stars are in the playoff.
Yeah, I'm going to head on down, go watch, help out as needed. As needed.
Who's the match?
Oh, goodness. Sioux Falls. The 1-1 right now. The series is tied 1-1. No. That's 2 cities. Yeah, we call it 2 cities. Yeah, no.
Stars were a fun environment. They still are. I know they still are, but man, do they still have the ones that dance, the dancing songs of first, second, and third period?
Oh yeah, the
Cotton
like
Eye Joe's
individuals that end up
first.
doing it. Yep.
Then the Mickey, you're so fine guys, probably still there, right?
Still there, and then they've got
Did the
Elvis.
guy-
Elvis now.
Oh, yeah, Elvis. Mm-hmm.
And the one guy used to I forgot the name of the song. He was right across from us in the third period that would end up doing the smacking dance. I don't even know what's going on.
A lot of the time, I don't really know what's going on. I'm just kind of there, hanging out, trying to stay warm. I've got my heated vest on and my heated socks. I've got a heated cap now too.
Is it really that cold next to the ice?
I don't sit down there. I go up.
I've got a
I
heated
sit up
cap.
top. I don't need to be down by the ice. No way, man.
You were in a heated cap up in the.
Yeah, dude. I get cold. I don't have hair. Okay.
Newsflash.
Like, in case you haven't noticed.
Newsflash, I don't have hair.
Listen, I'm not there to be uncomfortable. I'm there to live my best life.
Fair.
You know, I got to sew somebody up. I got to peel off like 5 layers to have enough movement to do it. I look like, what is that, Ralphie in a Christmas Story, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what it is?
The big coat.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining you in like a weighted blanket up in the stands.
Dude, that's a great idea. I love that plan.
That's real.
I might do it. Keep it down in the training room so I don't have to haul it in and out.
Oh, man, we got the doc, Dr. Dane Todd, hanging out with us. You can reach me at drdanetodd.com, 402-484-4012. Let's jump into a few things to this day in sports moments. Just because it's, NBA playoffs, did you know this day in 1986 was, I remember I've seen highlights, Chicago Bulls forward Michael Jordan set an NBA playoff record, 63 points. I think that was at the Garden, 63 points, NBA playoff record. We'll talk about some records in NBA coming up because there were a few set yesterday as well. In baseball stories. Hey, boy, your Rockies. This is not your Rockies, by the way. We'll get to them later today too as well. In 1988, the Baltimore Orioles set the worst record to start a season, 0-14. They would go on to go 0-21.
Oh wow!
To start the season off.
Good for them. That that's like the technique these days in NBA basketball. Is you want to lose as many games as humanly possible to try to up your chances for the lottery. What a messed up system that is. That's got to get the whole tanking thing to do that. You got to figure out a way to make that not happen.
In the more ideas I heard, I feel like the NBA is going down the wrong path. Where the simple solution to me is you get rid of the lottery, which you'll never eliminate tanking as a whole. But I think the solution is to eliminate teams that tank over multiple years. Because the problem is teams have the worst record in the NBA, and then the 8th worst team gets the number 1 overall pick, and you You stick the worst team in the league with a player that's not going to help their franchise. They got to tank all again next season. Well, the most recent idea I've heard is, well, the 3 teams that are worst in the NBA, we're not going to make them eligible for the lottery. We're going to stick them at the back end of the top 10. I'm like, what a great solution to keep them down forever.
I'm telling you,
they're never.
The sooner we can get to relegation, the better.
Yes,
that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate solution right there.
And I'm not sure if you guys saw down in the championship of English soccer this year, Coventry City. All they needed was a draw to ensure their promotion up to the Premier League. It was like last 5 minutes of the game on a set piece, they score a goal. The emotions that were shown for that team to make it up to the Premier League are like unlike anything you'll ever see in professional sports. You don't see teams win a championship that celebrate as hard as a team in Coventry City that's been stuck in the lower levels of English football for years now. They get the goal, they're going to go up to the Premier League, and they're going to get smoked next year in the Premier League. But that day, that celebration they have of, you know what, the dream has been achieved, we're going up to the Premier League, is unlike anything you'll ever see in American
sports. Know who else is really stoked about that? The owners.
Oh, yeah.
The owners are beyond excited about that.
They just got themselves an extra $150 million in the bank.
Yeah, they just made bank, but know which owner's really upset right now? The one who's getting relegated.
I'm not sure how in depth you guys are with English soccer.
Not.
I am a Tottenham Hotspur fan. They are one of the 5 most valuable teams in English soccer. They are currently in the relegation zone.
Woo!
With like 4 games to play. If they get relegated, it would be the highest earning team to ever get relegated in Premier League history. It would be historic. Everyone else in the Premier League is rooting for Tottenham to go down. It would be an absolute disaster. So if there's anything you guys want to follow for the next 4 weeks, follow Tottenham soccer.
What do they need to do?
Win like 1 game.
Just got to win 1, and you're not relegated.
They're currently one point away, which a draw is 1 point, a win is 3 points. They're 1 point away from getting themselves out of the relegation zone, but they also have not won a game since October.
Ooh. It's a little rough. Yeah, but I mean, if you could figure out a way to do relegation, I'd be all for it right there.
I think someday, if you were to go like a 2-league college football, get like 40 teams up at the top, and you could have like a system of promotion and relegation, I think it'd be interesting.
I think it'd be interesting too. I'd in the NBA, just have your G League team mix it up then.
Well, and it gives a reason to not tank.
Yep.
Because you lose a whole bunch of money if you're one of the worst teams in the league.
Yep.
Gives you a reason to keep on fighting until the very last day.
Players got to get a pay cut too then, though. Right?
Yeah.
There you go. Right? If it's a guaranteed,
you're not here anymore.
100 mil, right? Like
you got to cut it.
They might not care all that much. If you get cut in half, the game might mean a little more.
Yep. Anyway, this day in sports history, the Chicago Cubs play their first game at what is now Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Back in 1916, they beat the Cincinnati Reds 7-6. At the time, it was called Wiegand Park, but it's now Wrigley.
I saw that because this day in 1912, there were 2 other ballparks that opened up in 1912. Tiger Stadium in Detroit and Fenway Park opened up in 1912.
Very nice.
How about that?
I like this one. In 1931, this is not a U.S. sports, but I think it's fun anyway. The British House of Commons agrees to pass a law which allows sports to be played on Sunday.
Hey.
Oh, interesting.
So before 1931, you could not play sports on Sunday in England.
Huh.
Thank you, Church of England.
This one's interesting. On this day in 1944, didn't know this wasn't a thing, by the way, because, obviously 1944, NFL legalizes coaching from the bench.
Wait, where were they supposed to coach from before?
It just says NFL legalizes coaching from bench. Where were they coaching prior to 1944?
Maybe they mean like yelling at the players while they're on the field.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, I guess you'd have the player coach back. Was this like they got rid of the player coach? They allowed to have full-time coaches that just remained on the sidelines, maybe?
Maybe that's what it means. Because it's not like they were up in the stands, right? They didn't have the communication system running down there. They weren't doing that.
College football, but it's like 1912. You got all those signs in the stands with the coaches with the emojis on them.
How funny would that be, right? It'd be great.
It'd be fantastic.
Been like the old Nebraska Stadium with the open ends, right?
Yes.
In 1967, legendary New York Mets pitcher Tom Seaver wins his first game.
Nice.
He beat the Cubs 6-1. Well, he didn't beat the Cubs.
Cubs are coming up a lot on this.
Yeah. Big day for the Cubs.
Big day.
Big day in sports for Cubs on this day of April 20th. We got the doc hanging out. What's new? Anything new and happening at the shop?
Well, the only new thing that's going on is it's not super new, but it's coming up here. Is we're going to be opening up an office. We're calling it our our Salt Creek location. Will be over by North Star High School. So that'll be opening up in June. So we're getting going on that.
Big time. And if you need him, drdanetodd.com, 402-484-4012. And if you see him, he'll be the warmest guy down at the Icebox.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Doc, appreciate you. Have a great weekend, or a great week, my friend. Coming up, we'll have Evan Blam on My World Herald. We'll jump into Major League Baseball. We'll jump into the NBA playoffs that got off and stories that we missed. That and a whole lot more when we return. We'll be right back.
Let's face facts. Mother Nature is out to get you. Spring storms, roof-ripping hail, flooding rains, tree-toppling winds, dangerous lightning, and her favorite local go-to, tornadoes.
I don't want to be stuck in a tornado or rain.
Don't get in her crosshairs. Know what's coming before it arrives. Accurate forecasts and the vital info you need when severe weather strikes. On FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday. Wayfair's big sale is almost here, and you can score the best deals in homes, like up to 80% off everything home. Yes, you heard that right. 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. We're talking outdoor furniture and essentials, rugs, and more. All at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. Shop Wayfair's Wayday from April 25th through 27th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Get the last roof you'll ever need with steel roofing from Menards. Steel roofing provides your home with the best protection from wind, hail, and fire. Choose from 29 stylish colors to enhance your home's appearance. Available in cut-to-length panels that cover a large area for fast installation. Shop our selection of roofing products today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
The beauty of the budding trees. The misery of the pollen count. Hay fever affects up to 1 in 5 people, getting worse year after year. It's allergy season, set to 11. As you rush to clear the billion grains of pollen off your car, risking itchy eyes and perpetual sneezing, we'll keep you updated on spring's wild forecasts, along with news at the top and bottom of the hour. Stay connected to Lincoln's News Talk, KFOR.
We've been hunting these fields north of Kearney since high school. My buddy Ryan has always been my wingman, the life of the party. But I saw it change, and he got really down. Talked about his life being worthless.
If you know someone who's struggling, talk to them about temporarily storing their guns away from their home, taking care of friends and neighbors. It's what we do in Nebraska. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary.
Online. Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. U.S. Central Command says 27 ships have been turned around since the U.S. began its blockade of Iranian ports. Iran says that blockade means it has no interest to engage in another round of talks with the U.S. that were supposed to begin today in Pakistan. ABC's Karen Travers at the White House says President Trump's now renewing threats to Iran.
New threats, but bringing back old threats from before the 2-week ceasefire that we're currently in right now, but remember, is set to expire on Wednesday. The president is once again saying that if Iran does not make a deal, he will target the civilian infrastructure and energy infrastructure in that country. He wrote on social media yesterday, the United States is going to knock out every single power plant and every single bridge in Iran. He also added, quote, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Oil prices continue to climb as a result of the uncertainty, and that's likely to impact gas prices, says Gas Buddy senior petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan.
Oil prices now in a position to push gasoline prices back above the $4 a gallon mark. We briefly saw the national average below the $4 mark over the course of the weekend, but a lot of states likely to start seeing prices again climb here early this week. That due to oil's jump today.
Businesses who paid tariffs on imports can begin applying for refunds today after the Supreme Court ruled they were unconstitutional. But what about consumers? ABC's Selena Wang says
consumers paid for much of these tariffs through higher prices at the checkout, but we can't apply for refunds directly. Only the businesses that imported the goods can. So the big question then is this: will any of this come back to shoppers? Well, right.
8 children were killed in a shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana Sunday, allegedly by the father of 7 of those children, described as a 31-year-old. He was shot and killed by police following a chase. You're listening to ABC News.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-551-7672.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-551-7672. That's 800-551-7672.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Firefighters handled 2 weekend fires in Lincoln. Good morning. I'm Jeff Modes. We're at 55 degrees at KFOR. But first, I want to get you an update about that rollover crash from earlier this morning at 84th and Pioneers. Happened around 7:30 this morning where a vehicle rolled just north of the intersection. A light pole was also damaged in the collision. So far in the investigation, there have been no reports of any injuries. Back to the fire stories. A fire at a mobile home near 60th and Platte late Saturday afternoon destroyed one unit and damaged another mobile home and a camper that was being used as storage. Lincoln Fire and Rescue says no reports of any injuries, but 2 people had to be relocated. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Also, no word yet of a fire that happened inside a detached garage early Sunday afternoon, not far from the Nebraska Wesleyan University campus. The fire happened near 51st and Walker just before 1 o'clock. No reports of any injuries. Happening now, Governor Jim Pillen is holding the first ever roundtable briefing by members of the governor's cabinet inside the governor's hearing room at the state capitol. It's highlighting the achievements from the current as well as past legislative sessions aimed at reducing property taxes, growing Nebraska businesses, improving educational opportunities and health care, boosting public safety, tackling infrastructure projects, and much more. A short-term extension was approved by Congress on Friday through the end of April for the Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It allows the government to surveil people outside the United States. President Trump signed the bill on Saturday, but Nebraska 1st District Republican Congressman Mike Flood told reporters in a conference call Sunday a long-term solution is needed. He says this bill allows U.S. intelligence to collect data from email, texting from nefarious actors.
And sometimes those actors are communicating with different types of cells, meaning persons that are located in the United States. This is absolutely critical that we get this done.
President Trump has called for a clean 18-month extension of the program, which he argues is crucial to protecting the U.S. from foreign threats. Sunshine today and a high of 80. I'm Jeff Motes, KFOR News.
Your chance at winning $1,000 is happening right now at Lincoln's KFOR. Just enter this winning word by texting it to 402-258-2800 and you could be our next 1K a day winner. Here is this hour's winning word.
Laugh. That's laugh. L-A-U-G-H. Laugh.
Now, text that word to 402-258-2800 for your chance at $1,000 from Lincoln's KFOR.
You got your very own handyman to help remodel your home.
All shower doors are on sale. Save $30 in April during the biggest shower door sale of the year at Handyman.
KFOR is now available in high-definition stereo.
This is the good stuff.
Listen in your HD radio-equipped vehicle at FM 106.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back to the Morning Hookup. Special thanks here to the Dot Today Todd for hanging out with us on a beautiful Monday morning out in Nebraska. Coming up in about 10 minutes, so Evan Blair and we'll jump back in Husker baseball with him. Softball. Ooh, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. We did allude to that softball America has ranked them number one. It was similar week for them. Softball baseball. We had a 3-game sweep, and two of those games, both baseball and softball, two of those games end in run rules, which is shows you how well both those guys and gals are playing right now. As we'll talk to Evan about that coming up. But I'm going to jump the NBA here in a minute. But hey, Colorado Rockies, just doing this to just tip of the cap.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's why you played the game.
Rockies may have lost 6 straight going into it, but they're beating the Dodgers.
They took 2 out of 3. Take that.
To be fair, they still have one more tonight.
That's okay. You know what, though? Winning. 2 out of 3 is winning.
Especially against the number one team in baseball. Yeah.
And then one more as of note, one team that is, oh, boy, I don't know. I get it. It's a long season, but the Mets are in shambles. 7-15. They're losers of 11 straight.
But they have a get-right opportunity this upcoming weekend against the Rockies.
It was a great question.
How funny is that? That is a potentially huge series for the Mets against the Rockies.
No, it is. It is.
Who would have said that?
Nothing.
3 weeks ago, who would have said, oh, yeah, the Mets have a huge series coming up against the Rockies in late April?
They're one of those teams out there. Kansas City really struggling right now, too. Losers of 7 straight games, falling to last place in that division currently right now.
I think I said last week that it's a long season and I still have confidence in the Royals. That confidence is waning by the day.
That is just some disconnected play.
And you got to yesterday where it's like they're going massive change up to the lineup, and that's never a good sign. Never a good sign at this point in the season.
Not in mid-April.
Whenever you're going, all right, this isn't working, so let's just go. What was it? I think they changed like 5 different starters for a Sunday, and I went, oof.
It makes you laugh. LAUGH keyword, the 10 o'clock keyword. You can text that word to 402-258-2800 to have a chance to win $1,000. NBA playoffs, boy. I wrote down a few words when you look at these games. Celtics right now, boy, big win. Not a big win. I mean, a huge win for them. Obviously, they got it 123-91, getting it done. I mean, this is a series that is to be dictated with no Embiid right now. The Sixers have very, very little chance in that series. Thunder, they made a statement against the Suns.
Yeah,
get ready. That thing's over.
I said last week, I said gentlemen's sweep. I said Thunder in 5. They win the first 3, drop game 4, and then win game 5. I'm not sure they lose a game.
Boy, they made a statement with a 35-point victory in game 1.
Did you see what I loved from this weekend? This was on last night. Did you see what the Spurs crowd did last night?
No.
Where they went, kind of like the old classic multicolored. So every single section was a different, like, how they have like the pink and the purple and the yellow. They striped it with all those different old school Spurs
fun.
colors. It was one of the cooler looking environments in the NBA this weekend.
Fun, and they had some royalty there as well. But Wemby sets a franchise record, most points in a playoff game, 35, 6, and 1 assist for him. They get a 13-point victory over the Trailblazers, and that one, probably the one is the word stunned. Stunner last night. That's the Magic going to Detroit and getting a 112-101 win, which they led wire to wire in that game. Never looked back. Won the game.
It's one of the things that we talked about. And I didn't think the Magic were going to be the team that would do this, but Detroit does not have playoff experience. That is huge. You get a bit extra leeway with being the number 1 overall seed. You're supposed to be going up against a team that's an 8 seed, especially with the Magic, that doesn't have the playoff experience. But playoffs a whole different game in the NBA. It's one of the things that, like, you hear it a lot and you go, it's still basketball. No, especially in the NBA. Playoff basketball is different.
Oh, it's the intensity is up, different. And it got overall intensity, but it's defensive intensity and
defensive intensity. Your bench shortens. A lot of teams are playing 7 guys, maybe 8.
Yep.
Whereas you're playing 10 or 11 during the regular season. It's 7 or 8 in the playoffs. You're getting more minutes out of your starters. It's a different game. And I think that's what Detroit learned last night. I did get a picture here, Hooksy, for you of that Spurs crowd last night. I pulled up here on the stream.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at the court, too. Like coincide with the court and everything.
That just looks beautiful. That's what playoff basketball is all about.
That's awesome. Good for them. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Tonight, get the series going again. Raptors, Cavs, they'll get you kicked off today at 6 o'clock. Hawks, Knicks, as the we got to go back. We missed a day of that. I apologize. That was yesterday, but in the first, going back to Friday, Cavs got it done by 13 there. Nuggets get a win.
That was one thing I'm going to talk about. Saturday was not as exciting, but the Nuggets, after getting the nice 2 o'clock Saturday start, they're going to be keeping me up late for the remainder of this series.
Do they draw the late action?
Yeah, it's what you get whenever you're a semi-West Coast team. I feel worse for T-Wolves fans, but 9:30 is the tip-off time tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
Coming up Thursday, we got 8:30. Saturday night, 7:30, but it's a weekend, so like who even cares at that point? And then the remaining games are unscheduled right now, but
if necessary,
but likely going to be late night tips because you have a team that's Mountain Time and everyone else is East Coast. So yeah, 9:30, which means I'll be going to bed at midnight tonight. Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Great. See you in the morning.
Yeah. Hawks, thank you, NBA.
Yeah, Knicks got it done. Their game 1. Boy, how about the Lakers? They got to win. I wasn't expecting much from the Lakers. 107-98. Kennard, 27 points, stepped up in the absence of a couple of guys in that one, but they got it done 107-98.
And that speaks to how different the playoffs is. Well, first off, the Rockets had 2 players play over 40 minutes with Jabari Smith and Amen Thompson.
Yep.
They each had 43 minutes. Lakers' Rui Hachimura played 41 minutes.
He's got good playoff experience over the last few years of that team.
LeBron in year, what is it? The year 22. Yeah.
I don't know.
38 minutes. But how about this? But again, you got the minutes, changing up the lineups a little bit. But a team held below 100 points in the NBA in 2026. That speaks to how different the playoffs are.
It does. I mean, you can go back as well and look at there was 2 of them over the weekend, and Suns was the other one. Suns only scored 84 points.
You don't see that in the regular season. But
84?
Defensive intensity steps up.
You score 84 points in an NBA game, and you will get blown out. That's all there is to it. You're getting blown out.
It's funny. 30 years ago, 84 points in an NBA game. Yeah. That's not a bad offensive performance. It could be a little bit better. Now, 84 points, you go, what were they doing out there?
Well,
what did they shoot? 12%?
Yeah. Well, you look at it. They went, I mean, it was like the quarters, 20, 24, 22. They only scored 18 points in the fourth.
Which fourth quarter is typically the highest scoring quarter in basketball.
And it wasn't in this one based on the fact who was playing. Because the Thunder went 35, 30, 32. They only scored 22 in the last, but it was rest time.
Yeah. But that's the Thunder are a great defensive team, and their defensive effort and intensity it only steps up.
Look, I'm telling you, I watched some highlights this morning. You could totally see SGA step up in the defensive side last night with a big block in the game last night. Just the way I watch his highlights, the way he controls his body in midair is incredible.
Frustrating. That's why he is so special at getting foul calls.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a skill. It's a skill. I know people don't want it to be a skill. It's a skill, and part of that is, the supreme body control that he has at all times.
It's pretty incredible. So, all right, good stuff. NBA will continue. We'll continue to talk playoffs, and as we move right along. But we're going to move right along. Take a break. We're going to come back with Evan Blam, the Omaha World Herald. Apologize. Say good morning, Shane. Good morning, FloodX. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Justin. What's up? Good morning, Todd. Thanks for hanging out. Big baseball week. Well, I was there Friday. It wasn't bad. I was bundled. I'll tell you what, you kind of get protected in the bowl a little bit, because it was way different when we left versus where we were sitting. Way different. I did have to give a good little laugh. I was sitting after Tanner's baseball games. We went. A lot of the families came back and went out to dinner together. And we're talking about Nebraska baseball. And like one of the dads said, yeah, there was this guy on Twitter, this umpire guy.
Wonder who that could be.
I'm like, I know that guy. And I did. I said, he's not wrong. I think a lot of people come at you or come at people on Twitter because that's not what they want to hear.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's not what they want to hear.
And
attack fandomship. Oh, you Husker? Yeah, man.
Whenever,
although you just sent the rule book stuff.
Yeah, and that made people even more angry. Oh, you know the rules, but you don't know ball. What does that mean? There are so many things out there in baseball where people think they know the rules, but they don't actually know the rules. There's so many misnomers. Well, he's still in the dirt. That's the baseline. Not between home and first. It ain't.
You could see
they painted on the field for a reason. They painted on the field for a reason. And then the tie goes to the runner. You hear that every summer. That's not find that for me in the rule book.
I love the responses are they'll never. How could they make that kind of call at that point in the game? Because they can't.
Yeah,
because it's rules. I go back to that play. I go back to that play, and I think it had to do a lot with the throw.
Yes, I had one specific.
I'm telling you what, if he throws it down the line and hits him or something,
I had one specific umpire who's worked College World Series and essentially one of the best college umpires you'll see out there. He texted me, "Thanks for explaining that to the people. It was absolutely runner's lane interference." So I was vindicated. You get Evan on the line here.
Evan Blam. Welcome back to the morning hookup. Happy Victory Monday. Get to say it to our guy when he comes on. It's Evan Blam, Omaha World Herald. Evan, happy Victory Monday.
Happy Victory Monday, guys.
Man, what a sight and the sounds it was at Haymarket Park over the weekend. When you look at this series, obviously you like to look at this series as a whole. I wrote down a few words. It was execution, pitching, and bat. Like, if that's not in better, and I think that applies to game one, pitching game two, and bats in game two, and bats in game three. Talk about just the overall performance from that team, and I want to say the intensity and the focus that they came out and won a huge series down there.
Yeah, who would have thought when you put every facet of the game together that it could look as good as it did? And yeah, it was an unbelievable weekend, kind of reminiscent of some of those old Big 12 teams back in the 2000s when you have a ranked team coming in and a ton of excitement. And, it's kind of funny, like you look at how it all played out. They actually didn't play like a perfect weekend either. Mm-hmm. I mean, Cooper Katsky on Friday had his worst start as a Husker. Gavin Blackowitz on Sunday was done after 2. they had a couple errors on Sunday, which is uncharacteristic, and yet you get 3 walk-offs, obviously 1 in extra innings on Friday, and then the run rules on the next 2 days. And I mean, there's just so many positives that you can take away from it. I think you probably have to start with the offense and how it was able to do what it's done all season, which is just grind out plate appearances. Like, Mason Edwards was outstanding for USC on Friday, but they essentially wait him out and then get after the bullpen to win that thing in 10. And then their other 2 starters, which have been pretty good this year too, are done in the early innings, and Nebraska just goes to work. And it's incredibly impressive up and down the lineup. You can talk about seniors like Dylan Carey and Joshua Overbeek in their moments, or freshmen like Drew Grigo, who had a monster weekend as well. And just all the characteristics that you're looking for a team that's trying to make a run to host a regional and do all the things that hasn't really happened around Nebraska baseball a lot recently. And I think we can talk about the crowd too, but that was another special moment that I think is a reminder of what maybe is still to come here this season in the next month or so.
How surprised were you? It felt like a weekend where, as the game wore on Friday, defensively, USC started to lose it, and that just continued throughout the weekend. The wheels fell off of their defense. I mean, so much of what Nebraska's offense was able to do was sparked by errors, was sparked by overthrows, was sparked by wild pitches and passed balls. It just felt like, from a defensive point of view, USC started feeling the pressure, and they started falling apart.
They did. And, I'm going to take that back to the crowd, because I really felt like USC, felt the pressure of the moment on Friday and in other points too. And like, you look at their home attendance numbers, or who the crowds they play in front of, they really haven't played in front of more than like 2,000 people in 2 years. And so when you get 6,000 and then 7,000 on Saturday and Sunday, like breathing down your neck, and on top of every little mistake or every strike, like I do feel like they were rattled at times. And that showed up defensively, like you're talking about. That showed up, I think, especially with the bullpen and some of the walks that they issued, like from guys who typically have pretty good control. Like, USC was a top 5 team in ERA coming into the weekend, and Nebraska made them look really ordinary. And so, like, these are the kind of things that you see at the Big Ten tournament in recent years when Nebraska's playing. Like, you see teams that just aren't used to that sort of a crowd. And so, like, when you talk about USC's performance, to me, it was a reminder that, yeah, Nebraska deserves, based on its resume, to be in that mix to host a regional. But I think it also just says, man, what a home field advantage it really is when you have the berms packed and fans hanging on every pitch, and you have a quality team like USC, consensus top 12 team in the country, looks really ordinary, in part because of just, I think, the crowd and the pressure that it put on them.
Again, we're speaking to Evan Blam with the Omaha World Herald. Evan, let's talk about obviously you go back a week or so ago, and they did flip up the rotation going into the weekend, and you moved Ty Horn to the bullpen. I know there's probably a lot of people who are like, oh man, how's he going to respond? I think they've done it was a bold move, I believe a lot of people would say. But talk about the weekend that Ty Horn had and what that implications could be as they move through the season with him in that role.
Yeah, it could end up being a major move for how this team finishes out. And so, like, it's one thing to say, okay, hey, he hasn't been giving you the length on a Friday, let's try him in a new role. And then it's another thing for Horn to do what he did this last week, where he affected 3 of the 4 games for Nebraska. I mean, he stabilized the Creighton outcome on Tuesday. He had that, I think it was the 9th inning he pitched on Friday when Nebraska was rallying against USC. And then he, gives you actually some length, 5 innings when Blackowitz faltered early on Sunday. So, like, you're using one of your most talented guys to affect 3 games instead of 1 where it hadn't really been working out for him. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a huge deal for what this team could do. It needed somebody else out of the bullpen to serve in the exact role that he's talking about. It needed somebody that they could trust as a bridge to Jay Sean Unger in the 8th or the 9th. And so, I think you expect Cooper Katsky to bounce back as the Friday guy next week. Will Bolt had talked about him being on short rest last week, and maybe that was part of the reason why he just wasn't quite as effective as he usually is. Carson Yassa on Saturdays continues to shove, especially in Big Ten games. And then, you hope Blackowitz can handle that Sunday role, but even when it doesn't work out to plan like it didn't on Sunday, you have the luxury of bringing in a guy like Horn, who essentially started that game. Like he didn't, but he had a starter's workload in that situation. So just a really fascinating setup. You're only going to have to navigate 3 more midweek games, including Tuesday. So you're probably going to have to piece it together a little bit more in the short term. But I think when you're talking about making a run in the Big Ten tournament, in a regional, whatever it might be, like having a guy like Horn as the ultimate safety blanket is a huge luxury that not a lot of teams are going to have. So certainly a move that through 1 week looks like it was a genius one by the coaches.
Evan, as we start looking ahead here, you talk about the 3 midweek games. You've got series upcoming against Minnesota, Iowa, Ohio State, and Illinois, who, Ohio State's playing a little bit better, but it's not like a murderer's row schedule down the stretch here. You're at 31 wins. What would a 40-win season mean for this Husker baseball team?
Well, if they win 40 games in the regular season, I think that means they're right in that conversation to host. Like, that's probably where you start. It's kind of a weird dynamic because we're not talking about the Big Ten race just because of what UCLA is doing, 21-0 in that situation. So I think realistically, Nebraska's looking at that 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament. But really, the main carrot, again, is having postseason games at Haymarket Park. And for the first time since 2008, playing those games on your home field. And I think the NCAA selection committee tends to like to spread out their host sites if they can. So if you can have a team or two in the Midwest like Nebraska and have that story, that's a good thing. I think it's it's a situation now where Nebraska's done the work to be in that top 15 RPI mix where they are right now. And now you just got to take care of business. And so, like, you look at those opponents that you mentioned, really outside of Kansas tomorrow, these are all RPI teams between like 40 and 100, more or less. So not games that are going to be major national statements, but ones that you just need to continue to take care of business, take care of a series. And, if you do that, you're going to have the resume to be in that mix at the end of May. So that's kind of what's at stake for them. The toughest stretch, I think, of the season's over, and now it's a different sort of challenge where you have to stay mentally sharp. You have to bring your own juice, maybe when you're on the road and you're not playing a lot of enthusiastic teams maybe on the other side.
Evan, boy, there's a lot of good phrases here when I asked you about this. Taking care of business, sharp, bringing your own juices, and what the luxury it is for Nebraska right now when you get to the 7th, 8th for sure. But to be able to go to the pen and bring out a guy like Jayshawn Unger to the mound, talk about like what that luxury is. 28 strikeouts in 26 innings. They're batting 143 against them. That's something we have not seen or had the luxury of in recent times with Nebraska baseball.
Well, we talked about him, before the season as one of the big X factors of this team, and he's absolutely played out to be that way again for people just catching on. He redshirted 2 years ago because coaches didn't trust his command, and he didn't pitch past early April last year because he was still figuring things out. And now he has been undoubtedly their best pitcher. And you look at some of the strikeout numbers, like he's on pace to be a top 3 or 4 single season strikeout guy in Nebraska. Like he's K-ing guys at a rate that Jabba Chamberlain did in the early 2000s. Like on a K per 9 basis, he's right up there with Shane Komine. He's not going to get the innings that Komine did, but like that's the level of swing and miss that we're talking about with a guy like Yassa. So, all these, like every year, if you're going to be a team that, threatens to host a regional and does the things Nebraska's doing, like you need some great development stories. And Yassa's one of those guys. Jayshawn Unger is one of those guys. Matt Moyer is one of those guys. And so there's just it's been a he's been a walking advertisement for Rob Childress, the pitching coach, and how he's able to bring talent along. So that's a guy who's going to be a major league pitcher or a major league system next year. I strongly feel like he was on radars before the season. He certainly is now. And, he's been absolutely a key piece for what Nebraska's doing right now.
Evan, as we wrap it up with baseball, I do also want to get some NFL draft thoughts. That's coming Thursday, and maybe Emmett gets his name called on Friday. I want to get your thoughts on Emmett Johnson as we get closer and closer. Maybe a thought on the Broncos as well. But first, with Husker baseball, what does tomorrow night mean against a Kansas team that is playing really, really good baseball right now? This is an RPI, potentially huge boosting game. And if you go on the road and play a team that's top 25 in RPI, playing good ball, and potential revenge spot after what happened a couple weeks ago at Haymarket Park, what does this game mean? How important is it? Because it feels like it's got a little extra juice compared to your average midweek game.
Yeah, I think there are a couple things. First, it's when you do look at the rest of the regular season schedule, this is the game that can help Nebraska the most. There are going to be a lot of games down the stretch where you just want to avoid a bad loss or kind of maintain where you are. This is a game on the road against a top 25 RPI team where you can continue to make up ground or rise the way that they did against USC. So that's part of it. But then, certainly what happened in Lincoln 2 weeks ago should play a part in this thing. Like, you think about the stretch Nebraska has just gone through where there have been these just emotionally intense games, Creighton and at Oregon, and certainly Kansas was one where Will Bolt gets ejected in the ninth inning, wasn't happy about how Kansas was conducting itself in its dugout. Nebraska's got one home loss this year, and that's to Kansas 2 weeks ago. And they're still, I believe, the Big 12 leaders at this point. So, those guys know each other. A lot of Nebraska's players are from the state of Kansas. So there's some overlap too. Kansas is playing for its own regional host potentially. I mean, they're right in that mix. They're having one of their best seasons they've had in decades out in Lawrence too. So we saw 2 weeks ago where the emotions were high, where Kansas was throwing its Friday guy late to secure that thing. This game's going to mean a ton to both sides. An old Big 12, Big 8 rivalry as well. So, it should be a lot of fun, should be intense, and certainly one that's going to be a key piece for the resumes of both teams for what they want to do in May.
Evan Bland with us here from the Omaha World Herald. Evan, NFL draft's coming up on Thursday. The Broncos don't have a first-round pick, so we'll get to that here in just a second. But I do want to get your thoughts here with Emmett Johnson and where he could end up. He's getting a lot of love. I know Mel Kiper Jr. had a really good write-up of Emmett over the weekend. He seems to be bullish on him. Depending on who you look at, some folks have Emmett Johnson as the second best running back in the draft. Others have him somewhere in that 5 or 6 range. Just speaking generally here, where do you think Emmett Johnson lands from a round point of view? And do you have any teams that you think might be good fits for him?
I think he'll probably go in the 3rd round would be my guess, probably a Friday pick. It'd be a heck of a story if Minnesota drafted him and he was able to go back to his hometown and do his thing. I know he made kind of a media tour up there recently, and I think he'd be a fit with a lot of teams, quite honestly, just because of his skill set. Like, he's not a guy who you just kind of peg in a certain role. Like, he's proven that he can handle a high volume workload. He can catch passes. He's reliable pass blocker. I think probably the one thing he needed to prove the most last season was that he could hit the home run. And that's probably the area maybe where he's still just a little bit lacking in terms of a guy who can make one man miss and go for an 80-yard score or something like that. But, I think NFL teams have a lot of uses for guys like that. You think about just the limited roster spots that they have, like versatility is going to be a valuable commodity. So again, he's someone who can run routes, but he's got the intangible pieces too. Like, he's a good teammate. He interviews well. He's got a strong backstory, so there's no red flags in terms of his background, and he's been durable physically too in terms of just staying healthy. So I think he'd fit in quite a number of systems, especially ones that would utilize their running backs in the pass game and do some different things with them.
Evan, the first round drought for Huskers, it goes all the way back to Prince now. And I don't know, I think it's symbolic of Nebraska's struggles on the football field. If you're not a good football team, you're not going to have first round picks, even if you have some great talents. As you look ahead, how important is it for Nebraska to go out there and develop first round picks? I'm not sure there's any on the roster right now. We'll see how the upcoming season goes, but it's just the first round drought seems to fall right in line with Nebraska's football struggles, and developing first round picks. It's so huge in the modern college game if you want to field competitive teams.
Yeah, no doubt. It's absolutely correlated. I mean, the downfall of Nebraska from what it was definitely relates to that. And they've had years where they've had nobody taken. And then, that's obviously been after some seasons Nebraska would rather not remember. And so like, if you're aspiring to be, the Ohio States of the world or even the Iowas of the world, like those are programs that are developing players that are turning out NFL draft picks and guys that are lasting in the league for a long time. Like teams like that, like the upper level Big Ten teams, you can, point to a team randomly and you're probably going to find somebody on that roster who played college football there. So, I mean, that's the challenge for Nebraska. And I think it's a reminder that it's not just about the money. Like you want to have strong NIL and you need to put together a roster through the portal and things, but it's also about development, kind of that age-old piece of it as well, where, you take that talent, that 4-star guy or that 3-star guy, and you turn him into somebody who can be a pro. And Nebraska's had a little bit of that, but that's the challenge moving forward. Can you take those portal guys and help them take that next step or whatever it might be? Can you bring that top-end talent to your program and turn him into a stud? And that's sort of the secondary conversation. It's going to be about wins and losses and contending for bigger things. But then the secondary piece of that, I think, that always shows up in the spring then is just how good was your team, like objectively, according to scouts and evaluators. And I think the draft results probably are an accurate reflection still of where Nebraska is as a program.
Again, we're speaking to Evan Blam, the Omaha World Herald. Evan, I do want to get some initial thoughts as we're talking football and program and the talk of stadium renovations. The initial thoughts you've seen some renderings out there, which we know renderings are just renderings. But I guess the question being is, you look at it from the fan perspective. Is it fan experience? And does it relate to, because we had this discussion about, all right, there's a renovation that's probably going to happen. They're probably not going there without the votes. But how that relates to the casual fan and fan experience, and then relating that to what the product has been over the last few years and saying that they're going to spend $600 million on a stadium renovation.
Yeah. I think in a perfect world, the timing would have been different for Nebraska. If they had finished last season strong, then this is maybe something that comes to the Board of Regents earlier than it does now. There's probably wanted a little bit of distance in there. If this was at a time when the academic side and just higher education in general was in a better place financially, that's something I think they probably would have moved forward with maybe many years ago, maybe when Trev Alberts made that announcement a few years back. So I think those pieces play into it. But I think Troy Dannon and company have done a good job of laying out the value of doing this now. Certainly construction costs continue to rise and Memorial Stadium needs some of the structural updates for a venue that in some areas hasn't had many in the 100 years it's been around. But I think they've done a good job of explaining how this will be a moneymaker for Nebraska moving forward. So yeah, it's going to cost, $600 million now, but they're over the course of the next handful of years, the way that they're able to utilize Memorial Stadium for other things, concerts, weddings, other events, like you'll be able to make some of that back. And you're still fighting the fight as an athletic department of getting fans to attend games, like in a time when it's as easy as ever to stay at home in your man cave and have 4 games on or to watch on your phone somewhere. Like you need to bring in fans with upgraded amenities. You need chair backs. You need easier access to concessions and restrooms. And certainly in South Stadium, that's an area that needs some of those upgrades. You need to cater to your future fan base, your students, to have, I think, more premium seating, which they will in that new setup. So I think all those things factor into it. Again, the timing's not great just because of where the program is right now, but I don't think you can let yourself be held hostage to the seasons that Nebraska's having when you look long term about what needs to be done for the health of the football program.
And Evan, as you talk about the health of the football program, last thought here. Nebraska's got success in basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, rifle, bowling. Is it possible for Nebraska in today's day and age of college sports to be an everything school, a school that does find success in everything? You don't see it very much across the college sports landscape. Is that even possible?
Well, they're getting there, aren't they? I mean, volleyball's been the standard bearer for a long time. We know what men's basketball just did. Women's basketball was in the tournament. Softball's number one in the country this week. And we talked about baseball, wrestling. Yeah, I mean, it's been really, really impressive to see. I think some of it is related to the Big Ten and the money that comes with that and the ability to be more competitive in ways that you couldn't be even 10 years ago. I do think, a lot of it is the fan base and the athletic department that they have in place. Like, you hear people that have been at other places, like Nebraska has more attention to detail and more invested than a lot of places. The problem is, the football piece still isn't where it once was, where it wants to be. It's not on par with a lot of other peers in the SEC and in the Big Ten. So I think that's sort of become the question: is can football catch up to what the rest of the athletic department is doing? And we'll see. Like, there are a lot of factors that go into that, and stadium pieces, development pieces, a lot to figure out still. But you look at the Directors' Cup that sort of measures all the sports success. I think Nebraska's again in that top 20, and they're doing things they haven't done in some sports in a lot of years. So I think they're going to aspire to it. Whether they can reach it remains to be seen. But I think just the fact that that's a priority for Nebraska already sets them apart from, I think a whole lot of other power conference schools out there.
Definitely a lot of stuff, great stuff happening around Big Red Country. So, but man, Evan, we appreciate your time as always. Thanks for hanging out with us. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan Blam, my world here. Great stuff from him. Let's take our final break of the show and come back with stories that we missed. Good stuff. Yeah, buddy.
Got some golf we can talk about.
Woo!
That was fun yesterday.
That was fun. A little tension.
I mean, was it 4-stroke lead with 6 to play, and he
ended up to the playoff,
going to a playoff, and then
had a little tension in the playoff.
The perfect shot on the perfect approach shot in the playoff.
He's nails.
Where he drew it into the wind and ended up going dead straight right at the pin. Oh,
he's nails. He is nails. He was fun to watch. And the crowd not for you.
Want to settle yourself down. The bad chip he had on 18
Oh yeah,
sent it to a playoff in the first place.
We were watching. That's one of those. It's like, all right, this is over because he's one of the best chippers in the game, and he does it different than anybody else.
The reverse hand.
Yep.
Yeah, reverse grip. I don't know. They said on the broadcast that they felt like he rushed that chip shot. I didn't necessarily feel that.
I didn't. No. Maybe. I love how they put their thoughts in that particular athlete's brains.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, how do you know? Maybe.
Regardless, we can get back into that. What else did we miss this weekend?
I think I put some. I always take snapshots of stuff. So I had to go back to this segment during my. Oh, this is a good one. I sent this to you. I'm going to send. Did I send this to you? This is the sheet. I thought it was interesting. Oh, yeah, there you go. Try it again. That is the sheet of the teams in the NFL and who they will have announced picks.
Oh, that's fun. The Broncos are having a player that didn't even get drafted by them announce their pick. He got taken by the Browns. What do you want a Super Bowl? So
I just think it's kind of fun to see it like list.
I guess Ravens are the same way with Mark Ingram.
The player, the college, and then the round and year.
Oh, come back.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Special thanks there to Omaha World Herald's Evan Bland for hanging out with us. I brought the juice right at the end. As this morning, I don't know if we discussed it, but on a Monday, I just kind of get my morning going. I just kind of go, and I just totally spaced off. Disaster out front. So I did not take the proper route to get to work. I appreciate that music you need just off the schneid. I had to go,
that traffic flow on Cornhusker somehow got worse this weekend.
Do it improper, but everybody's like, "Well, might as well go try it."
I feel like the traffic going east has been backed up ridiculously. But regardless, it's only going to be 6 more months.
All right, better. Whoa, what's happening here? Let's do stories that we missed.
The stories we miss. The morning hookup.
Well, you alluded to it. What drama? We had a good golf. It was a signature event, by the way. And what I mean by that, this is they've elevated this event because we're like, why are so many guys playing? Well, if you go back to the Masters, it was just last week, right? It was $22.5 million purse. You know what this one was? 20.
Yeah.
So there was a lot, and no cut.
Okay.
Signature events have no cut, so everybody makes money.
And this is an event, Heritage, that fans have been showing up for in droves for a while.
Yes.
It was a really fun moment on 18-ish. And this ended up going to a playoff, but it was really fun. On the 18th hole, it was Scotty and Fitzpatrick both make their approach shots, and then they let all the fans out onto the fairway to get a better look at what's happening on the final green.
Yes.
And then Fitzpatrick bogeys, and it goes to a playoff, and they have to go clear off the fairway again. So the guys who go play 18.
Get out of the way.
What do you make of that playoff system? That it is, and so many events do their playoff system differently, but that is one where you just play 18 repetitively until you get a winner.
I love it. I love it. It puts the drama right in it because if you've seen that hole is an 81-yard fairway.
Mm-hmm. Super wide.
So if you miss it, you miss it in a bad way. I just like the hole. They always put it in that same pin placement on Sunday. And it's just, that playoff produces great shots every time there's a playoff. And Fitzpatrick showed you that in the playoff hole. Obviously a bad chip to get there, but world number one, Scotty Scheffler threw up his second round, got him right. Third round, 64, got him back into it. He goes out and shoots 67 yesterday, but loses in the playoff with a lot of guys a lot of people at 18 on his side. If you see when Fitzpatrick buried the birdie, he went to the year. A little bit of, showmanship. It was fun. It was a good golf tournament.
good golf tournament, good final day. You have to tip your cap to Fitzpatrick for keeping his head on straight in that playoff hole. I think it was 4-stroke lead with 6 to play.
It was. He was way up,
and he kind of blows it. Scotty comes all the way back, and to go settle yourself back down and go birdie the playoff hole to win it.
Yeah, Scotty birdied 15, 16 and went par. Fitzpatrick, how he got everybody back, and he just had an even. He just shot. I mean, he shot 70. He just made a critical bogey. That was a guy that. He had opportunities, but Scotty tracked him down. He's Warden 1 for a reason. But there was a lot. It was star-studded. It was a good golf tournament to watch. So, hey, I sent you that sheet. The draft this week, right? The draft coming up.
Thursday night.
There's a fun sheet they put out about each team and what legend or star or former player that they'll be letting come back to announce a pick.
Any favorites on there?
Just
the Broncos, for what it's worth, they have TJ Ward. Oregon will obviously won the Super Bowl 50 with the Broncos, was a huge part of that no-fly zone defense. Was drafted by the Browns, but is more remembered for his time with the Broncos. So he's going to be announcing the Broncos' second-round pick.
Well, I don't know. I like this guy back when we played, just from the perspective. Not a lot of people are going to remember it probably, but the Commanders are bringing Mark Rippon back.
Oh.
How about Rip coming back? He was a 6th-round pick in 1986. That's a good one.
For us local folks around here, there's a lot of Chiefs fans. Bill Moss.
Okay.
1st-round pick. Back in the 1984 out of Pitt.
Are we over Pat McAfee?
Yeah.
Being back for the Colts.
He's going to be exciting with it, though. He's going to bring some juice, kind of bring a little.
WWE
he
will. He will.
How about a name I haven't thought about in a long time? Jake Delhomme for the Panthers.
Oh, I didn't see that. It's kind of a good one.
That's a name I haven't thought about. Calvin Johnson for the Lions.
Megatron coming back to do the pick. That'll be a fun one, I'm sure.
And then I know Packers fans love this dude, and I always thought he was really fun because I love fullbacks. John Kuhn.
Oh.
Who, interestingly enough, went undrafted.
Wow.
Would you like to guess what school John Kuhn came out of?
Was he at Wisconsin?
No, you'll never get it.
Never get it.
Shippensburg College.
Oh, okay. Yes, that is one never getting.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of receiver news, there's a lot of fun names on that list. But speaking of receiver news, there's a lot of smoke right now talking about AJ Brown this morning. That come June 1st, and I guess that's the new league year. That he'll be, and they're working out details, that he'll be headed to the New England Patriots in a trade. They'll finally want to get to that relationship will finally break up, it looks like. Also out there, I don't know, you see a lot of it now just based on the fact that a lot of it out there now that
it's so strange to be like, oh yeah, the Patriots and the Eagles are it's like they're gonna pull off a trade here in 60 days.
Yeah.
60 days from now, they'll pull
They're
it off.
just saying we're going to work it out now, but it'll be official at that point. You know what else is really weird? Again, I grew up a wrestling fan, but now that ESPN has all of it, I was watching sports this morning. It was all their highlights because it was WrestleMania last night, and presumably Brock Lesnar might be retiring from the sport of wrestling as if he lost last night and he threw his shoes, the old, this sign of I'm done. Yep. But it's just weird to see that it's just ESPN nonstop wrestling. Jelly Roll there now. Pat McAfee obviously super involved.
Yeah, I'm not a big WrestleMania guy. I know a lot of people are out there.
I used to be a wrestling fan. I'm just not. I can't keep up with it anymore.
I like catching some of the crowd pop moments you get where someone surprises you. It's kind of fun, but I'm not WrestleMania's on. I'm gonna go watch it. Respect to people who are, but not for me. Anyway,
I'm with you. I am with you. What else is out there?
We did have a UFC weekend.
We did?
Yeah.
Question mark?
You had Gilbert Burns lose to Mike Malott. So that happened, if anyone cares.
You got that. I did not know.
It wasn't the most exciting. The next big event is still a few weeks away with Khamzat Chimaev against Sean Strickland.
Okay.
That's coming up here at UFC 328. That is May 9th. So we're still a couple weeks away from that. That should be a good card. Got Alexander Volkov fighting on that one. So
tends to be a good one. Sounds like a better card.
And then June 14th, the next one, we got the fight at the White House.
Oh, is that one?
It's coming up June 14th. Which I don't know. It's supposed to be for America 250, but I feel like you could have put that closer to the 4th of July.
Speaking of something else out there, I mean, this is one that hit the screen as well. Holy NASCAR Reddick. He won again.
I mean, he is good.
Tyler Reddick, I believe that's his 5th win this year in NASCAR. Is that right? I think I saw it was his 5th win.
Mm-hmm. Well, because he won Daytona. Yeah, started things off. Huge for Michael Jordan.
Well, man, he has. They're just making money, man. But what a run! Yeah, all 4 of his cars, by the way. Speaking of that, all 4 of the Jordan cars finished in the top 15 yesterday.
Our bet out is not playing right now, so I'm gonna have to count us down. We only got 20 seconds left here.
Okay.
But interesting enough, Damian Jackson, former Husker, Navy SEAL.
Yeah,
he is on the crew for Tyler Reddick.
Oh, that's cool.
Pit lane. So
nice. All right. Well, tomorrow, Robin Washut, Brian Munson, a whole lot more. You guys have a great Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you on a Tuesday.